we've been asked to make Havdalah. Yeah, and so, wow, I'm buzzing here. We okay now? Okay. Nope.
I'll just talk loud for now. First, can we just say, and you're beautiful in here, and the food is so good. Can we say thank you for our
This anniversary team committee has just done such an extraordinary job in the way, just in awe. It was many years ago, Dan Lieber will probably remember this, one of his children said, why do we do these things? Why do we interrupt things to do Havdalah? I think it was at one of the camping trip. Why do we have to light the candle? Why do we have to do all these things every single week like this? What is the meaning of this? And we talked about it a lot, and I've thought about it a lot since that moment. And I think that it is something that I feel crackling when I see the videos of the early days, the founders meeting, and all the way up until this moment. It's about making time holy. It's these invitations to take a deep breath and to pause and to say, okay, it's another Shabbat is ending, another week is beginning. How am I doing? How am I feeling? Am I fully aware? Am I fully awake in this moment? Am I taking in the joy? And so we end another Shabbat and we prepare to begin another week with this fantastic evening that we're having and this entertainment that we're about to enjoy. So I just invite you in this moment, let's make time holy together. It's what we do best here at Shir Tikvah. So we have the 4 Havdalah blessings, and let's sing it together. Starting with Kiddush and moving into the spices and into the fire, into the distinction itself between Shabbat and the rest of the week. La 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya. And could we just pause for a moment, just for mood? Could we lower the lights so we can really, mood lighting, so we can really see this beautiful Havdalah candle? Thanks, Dan. And let's nigun again. La la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la. All right, first blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri borei peri Borei peri hagafen, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la. And now the spices. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei mine vesamim, borei mine vesamim, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya la ya la 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 la, ya. And now the light of the fire. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. One more, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la. And now the sizzle of the candle. Oh, that was a good sizzle. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimhera Meyamenu, Yavo Eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Shavua Tov, 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 Shavua Tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. May it be so. And now I think we commence with eating and schmoozing and having a great time. Yeah. Shavua Tov, everyone.
You are too kind. You are too kind. Oh my God, I love everyone in the room. I love everyone in the room. Give me a moment, would you please? I just want to get myself settled. Oh my goodness, I have so many things happening. It's a very, oh my God, my mic. The whole thing, oh my God. All right. Oh my God. Oh my God. It is so special to be here with you. You know, Sherry, the lovely Sherry Reisner, who was, oh my God, there was such a committee of women, wonderful women who organized this whole thing for you beautiful Jews, for all the Jews. We're all here, all the Jews. I love that. Now, I'm going to take a moment because there's another very special human in the room. You're all special, believe me. But there's someone that rises above all of us, and I think you'll agree. Cantor Beth Levin is here. Would you be kind enough to have a seat? Would you? I will not. I will take very good. In fact, would you become more comfortable sitting right there?
I would be.
Please stay there. Stay there. I understand. She's not. You know, she's wonderful at what she does, but you know, she's not me. So, and that's wonderful. I just want to say, I'm going to get rid of this mic. Now, I usually like to take a little nip when I'm talking to my patients because, you know, it can be a lot. The Jews can talk. They can talk, and they have issues. Like, you know, I don't have to tell you, I am in the room of my people, and it's very rough out here. There's a lot of issues. And you know, the beautiful thing about Cantor Beth Levin, and I just want to say, if any of you are pronouncing it Levin, it is not Levin, it is Levin. I learned that the hard way. I got a note in the mail that I wasn't even welcome back until I could get it. And I understand that you and also, I'm sorry, I'm going to do one more thing that's going to be a little upsetting to you, but I'm terribly sorry to do that. You are stunning. I can hardly take my eyes off you. I'm so sorry. I wish you a long life. I don't want to shorten it here by my comments. I don't. But I was wondering if you'd like a little nip yourself, just to get you through. This has electrolytes and a little something I don't want to talk about, but it helps me tremendously. You know, this is what I use to fill my iron, and I'm multi-purposely using it. Do you see what I mean? I'm an incredibly resourceful therapist, and I'm also extremely busy, so I like to carry my accoutrements with me, so that if anything should come up, I need to strain something, I need an enema, whatever it is, I'm ready. But what I wanted to say is, Beth's primary job here is to listen to you people. And I just want to say, it's a labor. I'm not even going to say love. And it is obviously, it's tremendous love. It's tremendous. No, I'm almost done. I'm telling you, I'm not going to make you crazy. But the reason I say that is that she loves to listen to you people, is that you people can go on. And we know that. And so tonight, we have a wonderful event of stories from the founders, from all of you, we're a lot of elderly people in the room. We've all been around a very long time, which is why I need so many accoutrements. You know what I'm saying? I know you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I just want to say I'm going to keep this to a very strict 3-minute rule, because maybe Beth wants to, adopt this plan. But maybe I don't have any power here other than being a very, very esteemed, very successful therapist. Thank you. I really appreciate you being the center of attention for. And it is now over. I'm so sorry. I really am. It's tremendously kind of you to let me do that. It's just, my God, I'm so sorry. But we are in the house of the Lord, so I can say, my God, and I can do that. All right, we're going to get to it. I'm sorry. I could talk to you all night. I could do that. Maybe we should just forget the program. And no, I will stop. I'll stop. I just love the sound of my voice. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. So I'm going to review what's in store in the ground rules, because the ground rules are very specific. And I know I seem like a lovely gentle person, but there is a beast within, and I'm going to keep, I'm going to do my best with the timing. So everyone has 3 minutes, and I'm actually going to move the chairs. I'm going to take this. I know this looks like something from the Porta-John, but it's not. It's really not. And so we're going to have this wonderful mic up here, so you can all come. And don't be nervous. It's a room full of love. Am I right? It's just nothing but love. Oh my God, the love. The love. So our first storyteller on this, 40th anniversary, right? 40 plus years, my God. It's enough. It's a lot. No, I'm sorry, it's not enough, but it's a lot. And so Dick Palin is our first storyteller. Dick, where are you, Dick? Dick, please come forward. Dick is a temple founder. He spearheaded exploring the possibility of having a temple in Winchester. That was a brilliant idea, Dick. Brilliant. And he later became, this is stunning, the first president of the temple. He was so instrumental in the founding of this temple. Dick, thank you, Dick. From the bottom of my heart and everyone's, thank you. Bottom of my heart?
Yes, ma'am.
Dick, that's for later. We'll meet in the back. We can talk about that, Dick. But right now, you go right ahead. You tell your story.
Well, hi, everybody. So I don't know how to follow that. So, flying is a challenge these days, as we all know, but, getting here from Arizona was the easy part. Okay? The hard part for me is keeping this to 3 minutes, as anyone who knows me knows. And I hear there's a hook backstage that they rented just for me. To start with, I would like everyone who is a member of the Winchester Jewish community way back when to stand up. And Bob, you don't have to stand up if you can't. Where's Bob Stolo? And Bob Stolo over here and his wife Connie started WJC, and we all owe them a debt of gratitude. What I wrote is that WJC was the first manifestation of Jews in Winchester, and all of its members were pioneers. And so let's thank them all. So I started the temple committee, which is what we called ourselves, by asking a few people, do you want to work together to create a temple in Winchester? So those who said, let's do it, okay, they were in. Those who said, I'd love to talk about it, well, talk wasn't what we had in mind. We were laser focused, okay? Is it feasible? And if yes, how do we make it happen? Night after night, literally, I think it was like almost every night, we met around our dining room table, figuring it out. Okay? None of us had, this was like an idea off the wall. On December 4th at our go, no-go meeting, some people called it the fish or cut bait meeting, each committee member spoke about their plan and why they really wanted to do this from their heart. I went first, and I talked about our vision, and here's what we imagined. Okay? We love Winchester, we said, and we want Jewish people to be an integral part of the community, which wasn't even close at the time, when there was a handful of Jews in this town. We want to be open and welcoming. We called ourselves a real extended family built around our Jewish identity. By the way, this is what old eyes look like. If you can probably read it from the back of the room. I said that I hoped our temple would offer a smorgasbord of group activities so everyone could find something they loved that would make them join and want to stay. For example, I heard they have a Hanukkah party. Let's join. They have an innovative school. Let's join. They serve jelly beans at every kids event. Let's join. They have an amazing rabbi. Let's join. They have legendary kugel at their onings. Let's join. So that night, 32 people raised their hands. Okay? We adopted bylaws, elected officers, voted to become reform, and collected $300 a family, which was a very big deal considering the WJC dues at the time were $10 a year. Not a joke, okay? So you may notice that our plaque out in the hall lists more than 40 founders, though only 32 joined that night. That's thanks to a marketing genius on the committee who said, let's boost membership. Anyone who joins soon is a founder. And anyway, just like that, we became a temple, the Jewish Congregation of Winchester. Susie and I got home that night. We were joyful and ecstatic. We all did that. But for me, that quickly turned to panic. We'd promised so much. How could we possibly deliver? Let me show you how. Pardon me. On any given night in Winchester, and somebody said that I said this, which was true, there was a group of members figuring out how to make some part of our temple great. You know, I had no idea who was meeting when, but people were everywhere, probably every night. So first, I'd like the members of the temple committee to stand and say your names. Come on, some of you were here. Stand. Stand up, stay standing. Nobody else, there we go, Barry Kahn in the back. Diane Betcher, my wife Susie. Listen, I'd like you to stay standing. Stay standing, okay? If you can, stay standing, okay? I'd like everyone who is a founder, okay, which means your name is one of the 40 plus on the back of the wall, I'd like you to stand too. And now, this is directed at everyone in the room, okay? If you've ever given of your personal time, okay? Personal time or effort to the temple. You served on a committee, you baked for an oneg, you helped in any way by giving your time, please stand up. And stay standing, okay? So I told you I was going to show you how we did it. This is how we did it then, and this is how we continue to do it to this day. Thank you, everybody. I want to ask Diane Betcher to get up again, please.
Dick, my love, Dick, may I just interrupt for a moment, Dick? My love, we are so over time.
I'm the founder. I get to do anything I want.
I told you I have no power. I literally.
Diane?
Yeah, quick, real quick.
No, you've been amazing.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
you've been the keeper of the vision, and you've been great for 40 years. All right.
This is, oh my God, I forgot I had my own mic. This is very special. It truly is, because I have not, some of the founders I have not met. So this is a very special and beautiful evening. So I just want to tell you how happy I am to be a part of that. And I can't really do Lily for that. So this is Emily saying this. And now I will go back into character. So our next speaker, she's a wonderful woman. I love holding a mic, though. It's very special to me. And her name is Susie Palin. Susie, oh, there she is. Susie Palin is a Shir Tikvah founder, as you well know now. She launched what Rabbi Rim once called the heart of the community. I believe that. That's very special. The caring committee, that's the heart of the community. And she's going to talk about that experience.
Where'd you get your glasses?
Oh my God, do you like these?
Yeah, I love them.
I'll tell you later. I love to shop.
Hi, everybody. Okay, we were in our late 30s when Shir Tikvah became first a possibility and then a reality. There are three things that stand out most for me: the caring committee, the women's group, and the naming of the temple. Ho, ho, ho. The caring committee. In 1982, before the temple, but with the Winchester Jewish community, my older brother Jerry died of cancer. He and my family lived in Pennsylvania, so I spent a lot of time there at that time. When I came home, life, after everything happened and he died, life just went on here. No one really knew what I'd been through or really what to do. That had to change. That was the beginning of the caring committee. We reached out to members who were going through hard times. We made meals, can't say that from Pittsburgh, ran errands, made phone calls. whatever was needed. Soon our whole community was helping, and we became the extended family that was part of our vision. The Caring Committee thrives to this day, and I'm proud to have been there at the beginning. Women's group. I only have 3 minutes. Women's group. We were growing up. We had to be 40 to be in the women's group. We met often, and for me, it was a support circle, friendship, counsel. We laughed, we cried, we really learned from each other. 40 years later, it's still going strong. Thank you, ladies. You've enriched my life more than you'll ever know. Okay. Let's just say about naming the temple, it didn't come easy. I chaired that lovely committee, and we took it very seriously. We did a lot of research, came up with several thoughtful names, including some from synagogues destroyed in the Holocaust, and we brought them to the community for a vote. 1 room full of Jews, 2 roomfuls of opinions. It was contentious. No one could agree, so we tabled it. Months later, maybe even a year, we tried again. Once more, no consensus. Then someone raised her hand, Susan Kemp, and said, how about Shir Tikvah? Everyone loved it. The rest is history. And congratulations. And congratulations to all of us, 40 plus years. I feel privileged to be a part of this story.
Thank you, Susan. That was beautiful. Our next speaker is the wonderful Leslie Lawrence. And Leslie is going on a very, very big trip. Am I right? Yes. Yes, and she's graced us with a presence. She should be sleeping. But thank you for coming, Leslie. And where are you going? Nepal. Oh, my God. Nepal. Well, please come up and share your story. We're so delighted you're here. Thank you.
There, is that good? A little bit of a change of mood and pace here. It's late October 2004. Sandy, my partner of 21 years, my wife of 4 months, thank you, Massachusetts, and our son Sam's co-mother for all of his 15 years. She is lying inert on a hospital bed. This after 6 years with cancer, 11 different treatments. I've signed the Do Not Resuscitate form and met with the palliative care team, agreeing no more treatments, only comfort care. I suspect this is why we've landed a private room with a river view. It's evening now, the sun has set. A few hours ago, I heard what sounded like the death rattle. When I was sure that's what it was, I called Beth. Beth called Rim, then picked up Sam on her way over here. Now we're all here, Rim, Beth, Sam, and me, along with 2 devoted friends. We've arranged our chairs in an oval with Sandy's bed at one end. There's no beeping, no buzzing, no ringing nor dinging, no nurses scurrying about. Someone has lit a candle, and no one has yet told us this is not allowed. It's as peaceful a death vigil as you could imagine, and this matters to me. It matters a lot. I don't know if this matters to Sandy. No one can tell me whether she's aware of anything, but hearing, they all say, is the last to go. So perhaps she knows it's Sam bent toward her ear, struggling to find words for goodbye. And perhaps she hears when Beth begins strumming The Water is Wide, one of our favorites. Perhaps, too, like the rest of us, Sandy is jolted when someone's cell phone blasts its overly cheerful digital tune. Heads turn, hands fumble and search until all eyes land on Rim. Frankly, I'm appalled. If anyone should remember to turn the damn thing off, well, at least he's quick to silence it. Or that's what I assume he's doing, but no, it's my daughter, he explains, heading for the door. So what? It's his daughter, I think. What could be so important? At least he exits quietly. Beth takes a breath, and then, with her impeccable timing, begins strumming again. Hine Matovu now, one of my favorites. I hum along, but inside I'm still fuming. A minute or two later, Rim charges in. Not quietly at all. He can't help himself. The Red Sox won the pennant. He bellows this. They're going to the World Series. Everyone cheers, maybe even me. But if there's anyone in the Commonwealth less fond of baseball than I, less enamored with the home team, I've never met this person. Sandy, on the other hand, born and bred here, she and Sam were huge fans. In fact, baseball was their special thing. Together they endured frigid temperatures at Fenway and many a cozy evenings cuddling on the green couch in front of the TV. So when Beth begins, "Take me out to the," and everyone joins in with vigor, I sing too. Peanuts, Cracker Jack, root, root, root. I sing with vigor too. I sing with all my heart. And immediately I know that this is the best thing that could have happened. Not because Sandy hears us, though perhaps she does, but because I hear us and Sam hears us. And what we hear and feel in our bodies that just have to sway is that sadness need not banish joy, that in fact the two can fill the same moment, and sometimes they mix so thoroughly it becomes impossible to tell one from the other. Thank you.
That was so, Leslie, thank you. That was extraordinarily beautiful, and I think one of the most important gifts of this temple and of Beth and Rabbi Carey is the extraordinary care that we all receive, and particularly in times of sickness and death. It's unmatched, and you, they just show up, and you hold that in your heart for the rest of your life. It gets you through. It's incredible. Our next speaker after Leslie, who I forgot to mention, is an extraordinary writer. I hope you have a very safe and wonderful trip. It sounds extraordinary.
Pray for no earthquakes.
No earthquakes.
No political violence.
No flights stopped at the airport. Joan Atlas. Joan is a founder. Where's Joan? Joan, of course. Who for many years chanted Kol Nidre, so we can thank Mark for giving us all a loophole if we fell short in the new year.
Very hard to follow Leslie's moving story, but here's what I have. So many memories. I remember excitement. Sitting at the kitchen table of our apartment on Church Street in the summer of 1984, talking to Carol Bortman, at least I think it was Carol, responding to a survey about interest in starting a temple in Winchester. Yes, of course I was interested. I remember the meeting at Winchester Hospital in December 1984, a weeknight, so I was dressed in work clothes appropriate for the occasion. It wasn't a long meeting, as I recall, as we all knew we were going forward. We voted to create a congregation. I wrote a check. I remember amazement. The first service in February 1985 in the stunning Tucker Room at the First Congregational Church. The room was only used for very special occasions. Our lay leaders, maybe rabbi-ish, were Barry Kahn and Mark Zauderer, who worked long and hard on putting the service together. I led the reading of the Havdalah. That is my most vivid recollection of the night. We had a fantastic oneg, even though we did not have Martha Berman back then. I think I made rugelach. Jumping ahead to my second pregnancy in 1981 to early 1982, my first baby was a girl, Rachel, and now I was having a boy. Yes, he would of course be circumcised, but why did there have to be a party? I didn't get it. It seemed weird. Mark and I called Rabbi Kudan, and we sat in his kitchen where he explained the tradition. We had the bris at our house in Arlington. The moil was a pediatric urologist from MGH who was an expert on baby penises. Not a random rabbi with a sharp knife. So all was well. And the party was lovely. All our relatives were there. Jumping ahead to April 2000, our daughter Rachel's bat mitzvah. We had this building, but it wasn't ready, and we had sold the Stoneham Temple. So we were literally a roaming band of Jews again. And here's what it looked like for Rachel's entire Hebrew school grade, which was not small. Each family had to figure out where the service would be held, and we were all part of the mitzvah helpers. So for each bar or bat mitzvah, a crew of volunteer parents would transport our traveling ark, which you see at High Holidays, the Torah, the prayer books, the whole kit and caboodle, to the sanctuary of the week. It worked, but it was work. However, we all came together to get through it, a typical Shir Tikvah effort. So many memories, these were just a few.
Thank you, Joe. That was beautiful. Thank you. And I make a mistake. I make many mistakes. And what I did is I inverted the words. And, Joan was not the one who says Kol Nidre. She was actually our first bride at Shir Tikvah, which is a wonderful honor to hold. It is. It's amazing. But her husband, Mark, now Mark is the one who said Kol Nidre. Please, yeah.
The 38 or 39 years.
It's a long time. Really, 38 and 39 years? 39 years. That's incredible. So, Mark, please come up and share your story.
When I think back, the most vivid memory is of the first service. I'm not sure I'm going to add anything new in terms of recounting the event, but I'll talk about a few personal remembrances that come to mind. When I was pre-bar mitzvah in Trenton, New Jersey, we all went to junior congregation. And it was a social event to some extent, but we were learning Jewish rituals, and a lot of the kids were there. And we had services, and one day, Louis Hirsch, the kid who led the services, didn't show up. And for some reason, the rabbi's wife looked at me and said, "You do it." And I thought, oh my God. But I went up there and I did it with this great fear of having to do the Chatzi Kaddish. I just hadn't learned it, and it was complicated wording. And I was afraid to do that. But luckily, Louis Hirsch showed up before that part of the service. Well, next week, the following week, Louis Hirsch didn't show up again, but this time he was done. Louis Hirsch was never seen again at services. So the precedent had been set. I was the leader of the junior congregation. This experience, I did it for a couple of years. This experience gave me the guts and the knowledge to be able to volunteer to be a part of the first service and help Barry Kahn lead that service. we worked hard and put it together with a lot of work. We went through the prayer book, and the prayer book was divided into different services, different emphases for the service, and we picked randomly from the various parts to choose the words that we thought were most meaningful for this progressive congregation. I even visited a friend from Trenton, where I grew up, who I knew who had helped his own temple in Westboro develop itself. And I knew he knew the melodies to a lot of blessings, a lot of prayers. So I went out to Westboro and I sat with him and we recorded some music that we needed for our service. None of us knew a lot. And brought it back, and the ritual committee learned some of those melodies from that recording. This experience made me enthusiastic to be a part of the formation of the temple. I could never get up and sing a pop song in front of an audience, but for some reason I could sing the prayers of that service, not to mention sing Kol Nidre for all those years. Our idea was to have as many participants as we could in the service. So everybody, all the founding members had a part, either read something or sang something. And we put the service together, and I still can feel the energy, the electricity, which is, it doesn't really describe the word, the event, but the amount of energy in that room was something I've never experienced before or since. It was, you know, they say you could cut it with a knife. It was tangible. As I said, we gave out parts, and the part I chose for myself was Chatzi Kaddish, which I had learned by that time, and felt very confident I could sing it, and I knew the words, and I came to appreciate the sound of it, the poetry of it, completely independent of the meaning of it. And I do think it's a beautiful sounding poem. We, after weeks and weeks of preparation, we got the service off the ground. We actually pulled it off. And it's that memory of that feeling and the accomplishment of this great thing that we were trying to do that sticks in my mind most.
Mark, thank you. I just have to take a second to, this is truly, truly a remarkable event. I'm going to probably say it several more times. To have everybody in the room and to hear these stories and the history. I don't know when we'll have the opportunity to do this again, but I just want to thank you, and I want to thank all of the founders, because this has been a magical place for me and a really incredible landing spot. This is a magical evening, so thank you for sharing all of your stories, and thank you for all of your work and your care and your spirit and your love that made this all happen. Oh my God, I'd be delighted to see you. My rates are like, it's like $790 a session. But I do have a payment plan. I'm happy to discuss that with you. So Mark was also a longtime pitcher for the Shir Tikvah softball team. Still is. My God, my notes. I didn't mean to kill you off. That was not me. I'm not responsible for these words. But, oh my God, he still is. I would like to welcome Shir Tikvah up to the stage. Yeah. And I love these shirts. They're wonderful. Maybe I can have one.
Oh, you're so funny. You're so funny. Okay. So, David, why don't you stand up? Sure. You're very concerned.
And maybe before you start, if you could all just introduce yourselves.
We'll take it.
Thank you. Fantastic.
We're good.
It's not our first rodeo. But
We're on the right side.
Who's on first?
Okay, so good evening. I'm David Aptaker, and with me are several teammates from Shir Tikvah, the current iteration of the Temple softball team, along with our player manager extraordinaire, Steve Smith. Softball has been an important part of Temple Shir Tikvah since actually before we had this wonderful Vine Street building. In fact, the sport has been part of Jewish history since really the earliest days of creation. And for this I cite Torah, Genesis 1:1, in the beginning. In the early years of Shir Tikvah, Bob Ruxin of blessed memory organized family softball games on weekends, which included people of all gender identities and all ages. Over the course of some time, that morphed into a little bit more competitive pickup Sunday games that were held at Ginn Field with mostly adult members, and every now and then would issue a challenge to another temple, and the games were very informal, no umpires, no calling balls and strikes, no uniforms, no keeping score. In 2009, our temple joined what's known as the Men's Shul Softball League, which now consists of more than 40 teams from temples all around the greater metropolitan Boston area. The league is for players ages 25 years and older. We have players ranging from 25 to 75 on our team, pretty good range. It's from Orthodox temples, conservative temples, Reconstructionist temples, and of course Reformed temples. One of our favorite opponents over the years was actually the Chabad team from Wellesley Weston. Their rabbi was one of the best players in the league. He was shortstop, so fast, could hit. He was unbelievable, and we were always in awe of this guy. One time after a game, I remember going over to him and saying, "Rabbi, all the guys on the bench are saying you're really, really fast." And I said, "You should see how quickly he reads Torah." And the guy liked it. He laughed. Good sense of humor. So we've had some camaraderie. One of the other games we look forward to on a regular basis during the course of the season is versus the Shir Tikvah of Wayland, that spells their temple Tikva, and we refer to the game as the Battle for the H. We have the best manager in the league, without a doubt. Steve really knows how to foster a sense of team spirit, and we are very inclusive. We follow a lot of the kind of principles, the founding principles of the temple, and we bring in players who may have not a great deal of experience, maybe not a great deal of athleticism, welcome them to the team, include them. Steve is great at making everybody feel an important part of the team, and in given years, he gives us souvenirs. One year we had branded ice packs with the old name, Sheer Terror. We had branded yarmulkes one year at High Holidays that we wore with the team name on them. One year he made baseball cards for us with our pictures on them and our stats on the back. Really does stuff like that. We have team parties, we have end-of-year cookouts, banquets, we have brunches. We do, during COVID, the Sheer Terror masks we got. That's right. Shir Chutzpah masks. They were Shir Chutzpah masks. So it's wonderful how he does that. And one of the things I get great joy from is, and I come from a pretty strong athletic background, as some of the guys on the team do, but we have other players who don't have that, and they come onto the team, and everybody welcomes them and includes them and helps encourage them, and they get better. And you see over the course of time, they really improve. And that's very rewarding as a player on this team to see that happen.
Why are you all named Dan?
Well, We'll get to that. We'll get to that. You know, you gotta love the interruptions. I mean, we have really worked the timing of this to the T, Jeff. And, you know, so one of the
How do you read that handwriting? That is like the worst handwriting.
I'm reading this. We have had two father-son teams on the team. In the early years, Barry Kahn and Jesse Bear Kahn. Yeah, okay, sorry. We had Barry Kahn and Jesse Bear Kahn, and then within the last 2 years, we've had Dan Allendorf and his son Alex. Shir Tikvah. Rabbi didn't play.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, right.
We didn't play. That's true.
All right, thanks. Here, you take that. One other piece of what happens is, besides playing softball together, we have formed a real strong community where we're there for one another to support each other in times of loss. We've had a couple of teammates have lost spouses over the years, and when you look for the caring committee, the softball team is right there. It gives us a chance to share times of joy as well. But one of the most, I'll say, deepest experiences we've been through as a team is we have lost two of our players, two of our dearest friends and teammates, Bob Ruxton and Wynn Musgrave, over the years. And we were so privileged to have them on the team and to be their friends. They were classy guys, they were humble guys, they were courageous, they were wonderful, wonderful teammates. And I learned the meaning of the expression that we always say, may their memory be for a blessing. Because whenever three or more of us are together for a practice, for a game, for a brunch, whatever it is, Bob's name, Bob's memory comes up, Wynn's name, Wynn's memory come up, and we tell stories and we joke and we laugh and we have a lot of little inside stuff that relates to them. But their memory is really for a blessing because of this team. We carry them in our hearts, and the love that they shared with us is so powerful that whenever we're together, Bob and Wynn are there, and their memory is a blessing. For some of us on the team who don't connect a lot with some more traditional aspects of Judaism, prayer, or some of the ritual, this is our connection to Judaism because we have that sense of community and caring, the compassion, the camaraderie, the teamwork, the cooperation. It's all phenomenal, and it's done with that Jewish value. So for some of us, this is our connection to the temple. And one important piece, of course, of Jewish life is appreciation of comedy and appreciation of the absurdity of life. So having said that, we've prepared a couple of songs that we wanted to share with you. And so, in the spirit of the best of Jewish comedy, I would like to introduce to you the no-hit wonders, the Sultans of Swing, the pitch-perfect players, all about the bass.
At the annual meeting of the MSSL, the Men's Shoal Softball League.
These coaches' meetings go on forever. It's just one lawyer from Newton after another arguing about the strike zone, the roster, the schedule. Hey, you're new here. Do you have a team?
Not yet, but we're hoping to join the MSSL this season, but we don't have a coach yet. Do you guys have teams?
Sure do. Best team in the league. If you're not counting wins and losses.
How long have you been in the league?
In the beginning, in the before times, softball at Shir Tikvah preceded Shir Tikvah.
We played at Gibb Field in Winchester on Sunday mornings.
Softball at Shir Tikvah was for the entire community, men, women, and children.
Then, in 2009, thanks to Bob Ruxton and the others, the men at Shir Tikvah joined the MSSL.
Over the years, more than 30 men have played for our team, which used to be called Shir Terror, which evolved into Shir Tikvah.
Which we have a lot of.
What? We have a lot of chutzpah.
That's great. I'm Irv, by the way, and you are?
Dan.
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 That's a lot of Dans. Well, it sounds like you've got a great team. I'd like our team to be successful like your team. What do we need?
What do you need?
Yeah, like, what do you gotta have?
You gotta have Dans, lots and lots and lots of Dans, just a sprinkling of an Alex or two, but mainly a bunch of Dans.
But what if I don't have any guys named Dan? What else do I need?
You gotta have laughs, especially at our fielding gaffes. Never seen a ball that we couldn't miss. That's how we get our laughs.
Most of us are batting 0, but we're having lots of fun. I just want to be a hero.
Then we gotta score a run. There's nothing to it but to do it. You ought to have wit. That won't help us get a hit, but it keeps us smiling out on the field. Our chutzpah won't yield until we schwitz. First we gotta have wit.
Wit? Laughs? I thought this was a softball team. Is that all?
You gotta have Dans, lots and lots and lots of Dans.
Hang on, fellas. He's right. There's more to it than Gordon, Lieber, Ollendorf, Wattenheimer, Sokolov, and Wise.
Are those your lawyers?
Hey, Greenberg, we haven't got.
Art Shemsky, we haven't got. Sandy Koufax, we haven't got.
What do we got? We've got schmuttas and really awesome purple hottas. And we all wear number 18. Our shirts are all clean until we fall. But you gotta have fun. We're so happy that we're twitching. Though we're facing lousy pitching. At the ump we're never bitching. Cause we're gonna have a laugh. We're all a schwitzer like a boy at his bar mitzvah. We're like brothers, though we come from different mothers. When life gets too hard, you play your softball card. It's not just a sport, you're there for support. We've got strong hands to be there for our Dan. You see, at the end, we're all Dans.
Jeez, fella, thanks a lot. I gotta go find me some Dan. Okay. So a lot of people learn first to play softball at summer camp, I think. So most of the people in this room, I guess, are of the right generation to remember Alan Sherman's Camp Granada song, Hello Mudda, Hello Fudda. Is everybody ready?
Mark didn't. Anybody else need one?
Hello pitcher, hello catcher, on Shir Tikvah, we need no kvetcher. Our whole team is entertaining. We play Sundays in the spring when it's not raining.
We were once a real terror. Turns out that was just a shirt error. Most of us can't speak much Yiddish. When playing, we act like little kiddish. Though we care about more than winning, we were our house in the beginning. Year after year we made the playoff. Winning the Kiddish Cup in 22 was our big payoff. Dearest Vada, love in Throwa, we have 6 Dans, but not a Noah. And though we have no Rod Carew, some of us did not start life out as a Jew. All our shirts have the same number. Our backs are metal, We use no lumber. Our balls are big and they are yellow. It's a paradox, one very clever fellow. We can be skillful in the field. At times our flaws can be revealed. You're no Koufax, said one critic. We rip, but that's not true. We are both arthritic. We used to be called up to the Bima for Yom Kippur as a team-up. Then one year we really blew it. After that they no longer let us do it. Shalom Simcha, Shalom Moshe. Our team parties sure ain't kosher. When we gather in the neighborhood, we're a special new style temple brotherhood. We'll always welcome a new player as our group gets older and turns grayer. You can join in, run and play a field position. Initiation's easier than a ritual circumcision.
And a bow. Wait. Oh, no, we have one more. Wait, one more verse. I forgot that was the end.
We all enjoy Steve's post-game write-up. His clever emails make our eyes light up. All our errors are deleted. To read them, you would think we're undefeated.
Now we can
I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but we didn't even have one full rehearsal.
Encore. Yeah, that was amazing. That was unbelievable, you guys. Thank you so much. And actually, I was welling up because I used to sing that song with my father all the time, so it brought back that memory, which was very special.
Same lyrics?
What?
Same lyrics.
Very different, the original. Okay, our next storyteller is Candy Van Aken. And Candy has a story of a certain New York City field trip with Shir Tikvah back in 1991.
Okay, thank you very much. I've rearranged my thoughts. The field trip that we had, Dan pointed out that the slides that I had were possibly copyrighted and they're all thrown out. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to build upon some comments that Neil had made yesterday and that Shir Tikvah has so beautifully demonstrated just now. Back in the beginning, there was already a school. We were meeting in each other's houses, and the teacher was Susan Setnick, and this is one from a Purim party that she had at her place. One of the things in the very beginning is that what really drove the idea of the temple home was that we wanted something for our kids. We wanted to have a place for friendships, for identity, a feeling of belonging. And the WJC knew that very well and had already developed a school. And when the temple was formed, it basically stood on the shoulders of the work that had already been done. We are acknowledging a lot of great work. There's a bunch of people that had such drive, enthusiasm, and vision. People last night referred to the look of enthusiasm in the faces of the people that were sitting in the room. And what started the temple is still there. You guys are still the driving spirit and the driving love and energy of the temple Shir Tikvah. One last quick note for you is that our kids that formed the temple school, they were part of the team. They knew that what we were doing was important. And going through my files, I came up with a short list of some of the kids that were there. Amy Albert, Margaret Betcher, Todd Miles, Russell Blaine, Samantha Margles, Sean Margles, Greg Miles, Julie Rath, John Rubenstein, Gabriel Zacuto, Amy Ackerman, and Leah Albert. These folks, they were trailblazers too, and they knew they were pulling for the temple as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Candy. Our next storyteller is Josh Blaine, who is the son of founder Judy and Jerry Blaine, and he's currently studying to become a rabbi.
Thanks for coming to my birthday party. I'm about as old as the synagogue. This story comes from a place far away, but from where many of our ancestors come from. And it's a long, long time ago, but not so long ago that it didn't happen. It was said that the great rabbi, Israel, the Baal Shem Tov, the mystic, the herbalist, the healer, the storyteller, the champion of the people, of the poor, of the marginalized, of the uneducated, when he saw that his community was in great danger and they needed a miracle to intercede on their behalf, he would go to a specific secret spot in the forest to meditate. And he would light a fire with a bow, a friction fire. And he would sing a special prayer. And a miracle would come to his people. A generation later, his disciple, the Maggid of Mezrich, found himself in a similar situation. His people were plagued by violence, tempted into the ways of militarism and division, and he knew he needed to intercede. And he knew the spot in the forest, and he would go to the spot in the forest, and he would say, Rabbeinu Shel Olam, Master of the universe, I am here in the spot. I don't remember how to make the fire, but I know the prayer. May it be enough. And it was. A miracle came and his people were saved. Still later, Rabbi Moshe Leib Sazov once again needed to intercede on behalf of his people. And he knew where to go, and he found himself in the forest in the dark, and he said, I don't remember how to make the fire, and I don't know the prayer, but I am here, Hashem, may this be enough. And believe it or not, it was. Still a generation later, it came to Rabbi Israel of Rizov, and he was sitting in his chair with his head in his hands. Oy Rabbeinu Shel Olam, Shema Ya Koli Ekra, hear my voice. I don't know the place in the forest. I don't know how to make the fire. I have forgotten the prayer, but I know the story. May it be enough. And it was. To what can this be compared? My father's grandfather, my great-grandfather, Moshe Yaakov, in B'Sem Mihai, Hungary, was known to be one of the most learned in the whole region. He passed on to his daughter Dina Bat Esther the love of lighting the Ner Tamid, the candles, each Friday night And that was enough to pass on the love and the knowing to her son. And was that enough for this? I think it was. I think it was.
That was beautiful, Josh. Thank you. You're going to nail that rabbi thing. And now Josh's father, Jerry Blaine, will come up. Obviously, Jerry is a Shir Tikvah founder and past president. And when he called Sherry to tell her that Josh would be coming instead of his daughter, he said that his kids' motivation was from his involvement in creating the temple.
Can I borrow the tea strainer?
Absolutely. It is yours.
Okay.
It is yours, Jerry.
Hi, everybody. Wow, Josh. Wow. I didn't know what he was going to do. But there is a connection between what you've done, and you'll hear it a little bit. So, I grew up in Brooklyn in the 50s and 60s. Although my neighborhood was predominantly Italian, Alfonso lived upstairs and terrorized me during my entire childhood. There were a lot of Jews who lived nearby as well, and right in the building next door was Stephen Goldberg and his brother Robert, and Larry, their father, and Rhoda, their mother. And Stephen, we grew up from the age of 4 being best friends, and to this day we communicate almost weekly. He lives in Florida. Larry married Judy and I. So yes, there were Italians, but we had plenty of Jews. I walked 5 blocks to the Jewish congregation, which I can't remember the name of. It was a conservative congregation that my family belonged to. And I attended Hebrew school. We didn't call it religious school. It was Hebrew school, 4 days a week. My mother used to give me peas that I would put in my pocket, and I would eat them on the way, because I had to go right after school to attend Hebrew school. But I was being indoctrinated. That's what it looks like to me looking back, because I don't remember too much. I learned how to read Hebrew, but I don't remember too much else, except a singular moment. There was a Purim party, and I played Queen Esther. I was very pretty in those days. Yes.
Still looking good, Jerry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice shirt, buddy.
Thank you. You said that already. So my Jewish identity was strong because of that, the neighborhood, my friends, the Hebrew school. But I give more credit to my mother, who was a Holocaust survivor. Her number from Auschwitz, tattooed on her arm, spoke volumes about the torment and torture she endured because she was Jewish. But she didn't impose her Jewishness. She wore it quietly and compassionately in the rituals that she maintained in our small apartment, lighting Shabbos candles Friday night, lighting yahrzeit candles for her parents, her brothers, her sisters, who were all slaughtered in the Holocaust, celebrating the Jewish holidays, especially Passover and Hanukkah. So fast forward to my adulthood. When we moved to Winchester from Newton in 1982, first of all, people in Newton said, "What? You're moving to Winchester? That's not a Jewish town." I had no doubts then about my family's Jewish identity. Meeting the many families in the then Winchester Jewish community, I felt comfortable about living in Winchester despite its reputation for being inhospitable to Jews. As you said, Dick, on the video last night, our people don't come to Winchester. Your uncle, I think, said that? Yeah, your uncle. Your dad. Ah, thank you. We didn't belong to a synagogue. We thought we would do that eventually. So our oldest, Heather, was 9 years old and in 4th grade. The first day of school was on Rosh Hashanah, so we kept her home. Winchester schools had no provision for Jewish holidays then, since there were very few Jews in the entire school system. Heather came home after her first day, the second day for everyone else who wasn't Jewish, furious. All the best seats in the classroom were taken, and she hated her assigned seat. "I want to be Christian," she said very loudly. Judy and I were shocked. What have we done? We both thought. What I assumed about my strong Jewish identity did not apply to Heather, apparently. But I did understand something else. My assumptions about our family's Jewish connection were wrong and needed to be fixed. Judy and I went to Temple Isaiah. We didn't have Shir Tikvah then. We went to Temple Isaiah in Lexington the next day and joined the congregation and enrolled Heather in the religious school. As the years passed, she became active in Lefty, their youth group, went to Israel 3 times, and is now a devoted Jewish adult. We now laugh about this episode. As for Judy and I, and my family, that wish by Heather to be Christian started up our drive to create a Jewish presence in Winchester and energized us to join the other founding members of Temple Shir Tikvah. And here we are 41 years later.
Thank you, Jerry. Our next storyteller is the incomparable Barry Glass. Barry is a past president, organizer of the Temple Youth Service activities, and so much more.
Before I start my remarks, I do want to remember back to that Kiddush Cup final game, which was one of the most thrilling sporting events I've ever been to in my life. It went the full 6 innings. You were tied, 7 innings. You were tied in the last inning, and something occurred that occurs about as often as the miracle of the oil in the candelabra. That no runs were scored in 1 inning of a soft pitch softball game. That it's almost inevitable. The scores are like 30-25, and there were no runs scored in that last inning, and the Kiddush Cup came to Shir Tikvah. So it was a miracle moment, folks. So I want to pick up a little bit on a theme that's run through. I think Dick Palin mentioned it, and a few others, and the theme of figuring it out. Because Shir Tikvah is a place where lots of things get figured out, and they get figured out in ways that move our lives in ways that we may not have ever predicted. So my first experience with figuring it out here at Shir Tikvah was actually fixing the 2 posts that are at the entrance to the door here, to the building, because after Hebrew school on Wednesday night when it was dark, no one saw them. And they would back into them and bump them off the bases. And Sharon Solomon knew that I was a carpenter and had tools and things, and she would call me on Thursday morning and say, "Barry, it's a one-off or a twofer. Both of them are off the base, or one is." So that was my first experience with Shir Tikvah, was figuring out how to fix those posts. We then figured out how to put people out there, although it was dangerous to direct people out there, put cones around there, put messages out to the community. Finally, I think backup cameras helped solve that problem, and I was able to move on to other things. So, but during one of those figure it out conversations, Rabbi Rim came outside and we started a conversation about Shir Tikvah and Jewish life. Because at that time, personally, I was ambivalent at best about joining a synagogue. My Jewish experience as a young person was not that inspiring, and we were here because Allison, my wife Allison, started taking the kids to church, and so we need an ethical and a communal upbringing for our kids. So we went to church a couple of times, and that moved me to the direction of finding out about the local temples. So thank you, Allison, for going to church with the kids. So So Rim and I had this conversation about figuring it out, and to make the story somewhat short, I said, Rim, I really need to figure out what this Jewish thing is about. I'm not comfortable with this or that, and I didn't have a good upbringing. Why come to this place? And I really need to figure out this God thing. A gendered God that is supposed to do all these wonderful things, but there's all this stuff in the world. I don't get it. I'm not a supporter of it. So Rim thought for a minute, and he said, what do you say we figure it out together? And that was it. That was it for me. That was the invitation to explore, to create, to understand Judaism in a new and in a different way. That in fact, Shir Tikvah was a place to figure it out, to create your own Jewish experience, one that speaks to you and one that speaks to the people around you that may experience it in different ways. But that was it. I was hooked. And all feet first, feet full into the river, and here we are now. So we figured out a number of things along the way, how to live in a community where we can hold each other in joy and in sorrow, a place where our kids can experience wonderful things in life together, and to, in some ways, dispel the myth for so many people that temples and Hebrew schools, temples are really important for people until the kids have a bar mitzvah, and then you move on. Well, I couldn't be a stronger advocate for saying that the temple life has become way more important as we've become adults. As the kids have moved on in their own lives, this community is so much more important later in life. So I haven't really figured out the God thing. The God thing is still a question, but I've landed somewhere that might resonate with a few people, and I don't want to mess this one up. And it's kind of based loosely on the ideas of the Jewish philosopher Martin Buber. And here's where I come down with this God thing, and that is, God comes into existence when people come together, engage with each other honestly, with open hearts and open minds, and recognizing the humanity and the dignity of each person. So that's where I've landed with the God thing. And I am forever grateful that there's an awful lot of God here at Shir Tikvah. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Next up, we have Alana Martell, who I know we all always love when she speaks. So looking very forward to this. Alana, welcome.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm really excited to read this for you tonight. It may be a little radical, but I have nothing but respect for Shir Tikvah, and it comes from a place of love. All right. This is called Coming Home. Over the years, I've encountered public spaces that I've wanted to make my own. Temple Shir Tikvah is one of them. I want to chill out in the sanctuary like I used to flop down on my grandmother's flowery bedspread in New York City. I want to curl up on the blue cushioned seats like I would on the big brown couch in my apartment. During the service, I want to talk to God like I do in my most personal moments. In my own home, after lights out, in bed with the covers up tight. How do I elicit these feelings? I bring my own precious books to read instead of the prayer book. To me, reading is holy, and to be reading a history of genetics or Michelle Obama's biography as the congregation sings Lecha Dodi seems to me to be the pinnacle of the divine, nothing short of a miracle. In temple, if I feel anxious or triggered by the machinations of my internal self, I check out and go on my phone. I scroll through photos of my family at the beach and through texts between myself and my dad. Sometimes I arrive in the sanctuary and want to change things up physically. In the winter, I might keep my coat on the entire service if that feels comforting. At Shir Tikvah, I want to be known for my soul, a soul that includes vulnerability. In my personal life, I frequently need accommodations. To grant myself an accommodation at Shir Tikvah and for nothing bad to happen, night after night, was a reassurance that resonated deeply. From this vantage point, I have found myself naturally staying seated whenever we are asked to stand. There is no hiding. My methods of assimilation and integration are unorthodox. It's possible that people think that I'm being rude or lazy, that I'm slacking or not engaging. Sitting during Mourner's Kaddish, not even using a prayer book, journaling during Rabbi Carey's sermon, loosely inspired by her own words, but still in my own world. I'm checking my phone, I'm zoning out. How can this be involvement? The truth is that I'm engaged in a very corporeal, real way. Creating a home for myself allows me to bring my full self to the community. It gives me an energy that never depletes. I can attend Friday night services every week, come early and stay late. I've heard it said that that Shir Tikvah is the Sudbury Valley School of Temples. I think I'll fit in here just fine.
See? She's so extraordinary. Alana, you're so extraordinary. And you nailed what is one of the most special things about this community is that you can bring your whole self, whatever that is, whatever state you may be, into the room, and you can just be who you are in that moment, and you will be embraced. And that's an incredible gift. Thank you. You just gave it to us. Thank you. Next, we have Steve McHugh, who is one of our tireless social justice leaders. He will talk about his Jewish life experience that involves a baseball game.
Well, thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm feeling a little bit anxious following all the luminaries. I've been a member of Temple Shir Tikvah when my beautiful wife and I joined 37 years ago, so I do have a perspective. But I grew up Catholic. One of the things that I really, really got about Shir Tikvah and about Judaism was this concept of chesed, which I understood to mean kindness, caring for others. And I'm going to tell a story about chesed tonight as it involved me and a gift that I gave somebody a long time ago. Have to bring props. So Bill was probably my best friend. We met in college. Came from similar backgrounds, both grew up in upstate New York. He didn't come from his family didn't have a lot of money, mine didn't have a lot of money. He was the kind of guy that I really wanted to emulate. He was a very generous, intelligent, very committed man. Really a great guy, a mensch, as you people would say. But one thing about him, he was a baseball nut, a fanatic. Total fanatic. So it made all the sense in the world when he came to Boston in August of 1978 that we went to see the Red Sox. And the Red Sox were playing the Kansas City Royals that day. And the Royals showed up in their beautiful uniforms, all in white, royal blue hats, blue lettering, you know, everything, just beautiful. And they had a player on the team, Freddie Patek, who was an all-star, shortstop. Maybe some of the Shir Chutzpah people would remember him. So baseball was a common man's sport at that time. They had day games. Used to be you could buy a beer in the stands and they would pass it to you in a cup down the line. You know, a cup, an open cup. Honestly, I'm not kidding. And there was smoking. And they had day games, as I mentioned. So Bill and I, we sat in the cheap seats, way up on the right field side, underneath the overhang. And he sat on the aisle, and he had the program, and he had his pencil, and he was keeping score and doing the play-by-play, just in case the scoreboard went down and the umpires needed somebody. He was there. I, on the other hand, was next to him, just working my way through this bag of popcorn. So when Freddie Patek finally came up, my face was down in the popcorn, wondering why it was so empty. And all of a sudden, everybody around me went, whoom, up like that. What was going on? I looked down. I couldn't look anywhere else. And what was there? Right between my feet. And I picked it up. And it was a genuine Major League Baseball, which is rubbed in mud before the game, theoretically, by the umpires. So it's a very special thing. And everybody saw it, and they go, oh, and they sit down. But my friend, Bill, he's next to me, and he's transfixed. He's looking at that ball, and I know he wants that ball. I really do, and he's my best friend. So I give him the ball. And he said, are you sure? I said, yes, I'm sure. It can be your ball. Yes, okay, fine. So he has the ball, and he does this with a little bit. Then he takes it, he holds it on his lap. He's looking around. 30 seconds later, pop, 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 down the stairs, comes right out of Central Casting, right out of the Prince Spaghetti ad, little dark-haired 9-year-old Freddie Patek Jr. He's wearing the Royals uniform, hat, you know, everything, the jersey, the pants, everything. And on the back, he has stenciled Patek. And he sees my friend, and he closes in on him, and he says, Mr. Freddie Patek is my favorite player of all time. Can I please have the ball? My friend is the nicest guy ever. But he's torn. He looks at the ball. He looks at the kid. He doesn't know what to do. I look at him. I look at the ball. I look at the kid. Bill starts leaning in that direction. I know what he's going to do. And I say, no. The kid goes, and he goes running back up the stairs. 30 seconds later, he's back down again. He says, Mister, my father will pay you $30 for that ball. This was 1978. That was a lot of money. We didn't have any money. And Bill was in agony. What do I do? What do I do? He wants to give it to the kid. He wants to give it to the kid. This time it was really easy for me. I said, no, thank you. The kid goes running back up the steps. We were sure that his father was going to be coming down to negotiate with like a souvenir baseball bat to get that ball. But he didn't. And afterwards, as we're leaving the game, we're walking out, and Bill turns to me and he says, you know, I really could have given that ball to him. And I said, no, you really couldn't. Because it was my ball, and I gave it to you, and so it was my choice. So you didn't have anything to do with it. And he went, thank God. So Bill went on to become a pediatric surgeon, worked in an ICU, helped a lot of children. He went to Armenia when there was a big earthquake there. He and his wife, Julie, had 4 children. They're pillars of the community. They even know Justice Sonia Sotomayor. 20 years after the game, Bill and Julie had my beautiful wife, Sue, my late wife, and I over for dinner. And after dinner, Bill said, come on over here, I want to show something. So we go walking back to a back room, and he opens the closet door, he reaches up, pulls a light chain, and up there, the top of the closet, are a whole bunch of shoe boxes. He reaches up, takes one shoe box down, opens it up, looks inside. And it's all these baseball cards for the Kansas City Royals, all stacked on end. And in the back, there's a little compartment. And in that compartment is a faded Major League Baseball, all wrapped in cellophane, and it's labeled. It says, Red Sox, Royals, August 1978, Freddie Patek. He looks at me and he says, do you remember? And I said, yes. So, I don't really know what happened with Freddie Patek Jr., who is by now 56 years old or so. I hope he has had a sufficient life experience and knows what it was that I did for my friend Bill that day, which was a true gift of caring, of chesed, and it's what I've seen here at Temple Shir Tikvah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much for that story. Our next storyteller is Andy Oram. Andy is a past president and is always active in social justice causes, and he will reflect on our first experiences as part of the Greater Boston Interfaith Organization, GBIO.
What an evening. Wow. All right. The secret was revealed, so I'm talking about the Greater Boston Interfaith Organization, how we joined it in particular. This year is the 20th anniversary of that decision. It established Shir Tikvah as a social justice congregation. It also permanently changed our views about leadership and about congressional relationships. So, GBIO, which started in 1998, is part of the community organizing movement established by Jewish labor organizer Saul Alinsky in the 1930s. You ought to know that history. In the mid-2000s, GBIO decided to spread into the suburbs north of Boston. They appointed a veteran organizer, Rebecca Gifford, to approach religious institutions around here, and they recognized that Shir Tikvah was a likely candidate. Assuming, like most people, that religious organizations were controlled by the clergy, Rebecca approached Rabbi Rim. He explained that programs at Shir Tikvah were driven by active members. He put her in touch with Robin Kuttner and Kathy Feynman, both of them here tonight, who were co-chairs of Social Action at that time. They were skeptical. As for me, I questioned the value of community organizing. Talk to me about that sometime. But Rebecca, who like me had engaged in hardcore left-wing politics, persuaded me that community organizing was the way to galvanize the masses. She also got 10 of us to come to a convocation of 1,000 people at Temple Israel that drove forward their campaign for healthcare reform. More about that later. We were hooked and started organizing. Then an unusual opportunity fell on our lap. I was nominated for president of the synagogue. Rebecca Gifford put pressure on me to put pressure on the board to join GBIO. They agreed, despite big concerns over how we would pay the substantial dues GBIO asked for. You can ask me about that story later. Rabbi Rim tapped his discretionary budget, and another donor helped us to cover dues for several years. We jumped right into the historic healthcare reform movement that created the model for Obama's Affordable Care Act. Shir Tikvah's participation turned out to be a big help to GBIO because many of us lived in the district of a powerful state senator, Ken Donnelly, remember him? Who was close to the Senate president. Finally, in 2008, after a stirring presentation to our board by Robin and Ann Emmerich, they voted to officially join GBIO. Many Shir Tikvah members have worked on GBIO campaigns and represented us to the organization. Just recently, I was at the State House for their campaign to seal the criminal records of people who have avoided reoffending for several years. Several other issues Shir Tikvah members have gotten involved in are college debt, prevention of gun violence, aging with dignity, and affordable housing. So I don't have time to list all the leaders. So, yes. Please applaud for all the other people who have led with GBIO over the years. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Our next storyteller is Harold Bowl. Harold couldn't be here tonight, so he shared a video of his rendition of The Night Before Christmas, in which he tells a story of how Shir Tikvah began volunteering at Winchester Hospital on Christmas Day.
I'm Harold Bowl, and the poem I'm going to read to you tonight is entitled The Jewish Dilemma on the Day That Made Hanukkah Famous. It was the day after Christmas Eve, and all through the house, people were stirring, even my spouse. No stocking was hung by the chimney with care. After all, we were Jewish, we just wouldn't dare. But no presents, no shopping, no schmoozing, I say. What's a Jew gonna do on Christmas Day? As we sat and pondered, we soon fell in a swoon. Chinese restaurants and movies, they don't open till noon. Aha, thought I, as I said with some smiles, next year will be different. We'll help the Gentiles. Well, a year rolled around and I got on the phone to call all my friends. Hey, I can't do this alone. Yo Eli, yo Barry, yo Betty, yo Steve. Andy, are you with me? Can you be there, Areve? Some said yes, some said no. Some said, gosh, wish we could. But we're waiting for Santa, and so far we've been good. On that next Christmas Day, at the hospital we arrived. We had coffee and bagels and cream cheese and chives. So we sat in the room till the phone finally rang, and up from our chairs we all jumped and sprang. Out onto the wards we went far, we went near, to lift and to carry, and bring folks some cheer. Patients were happy to see us be there. We were kind, we were gentle, we really did care. At the end of the day, our mitzvah felt right. Merry, happy, whatever, and to all a good night.
Well, thank you so much, Harold. Diane Betcher is going to come up and say a few words, and then we're going to bring Dick Palin back up.
Harold wrote that in early 2000s. First, I'd like to thank so many people who made these evenings happen at the risk of leaving somebody out. I'm going to say some names. Our committee was Sherry Reisner, Kathy Feynman, Mindy Margulies, who are the people responsible for tonight. And we have Amy Travers, who did so much tech, Martha Berman, who was the food specialist, Bonnie Newman, who's doing pictures, Neil Montenko, who has done some of the publicity, and myself. And it's been a fabulous committee. I mean, people at Shir Tikvah are so amazing. We also have Judy Lebo, who designed this timeline, and we've got them. I think we ordered 500, so if you please take one for your family. It's really pretty amazing of the 41 years. And I'd also like to thank all the speakers, the slammers, the clergy, and the staff. our tech crew from last night, Don, and tonight, Don Abrams, Dan Lieber, Brian McCardle. And this morning I watched the video of last night, even though I was there, but I watched it. It's amazing. I mean, it really, in some ways, it was even better than being there because I didn't realize, but it's really a professional video with, you know, when they talked about Beth, there's pictures of Beth, or talked about RIM, it goes to RIM, and you can see the slides and you can see the photos. So if you didn't see it, I strongly encourage you to see it. You can go to the shirtikvah.org website, and it's, you know, just see the video. It's right there. You hit the link and let us know if you can't get there. And secondly, and this is only a comment from me, it's not from the committee, I'm saying this on my own, but when we started this process in August, thinking about doing some kind of anniversary celebration, we decided not to make this a fundraiser as we had for our other big celebrations. We wanted to have it as a gift to our community for having gotten through the pandemic so well and celebrating in a world that felt kind of threatening at many times. So, yeah, so we've all been here. However, if you desire, there are two ways that I'm thinking you could show your appreciation if you want to. We've all gotten the annual report and the request for Chai donations. And although our Chai program has been really good and we raise a lot of money, it's really a little bit fewer than 50% of the congregation that contributes. So we would really like to get that to 70% or 80% or 100%. And if you can give $18 or $118 or whatever, that ups the numbers. So I'm encouraging that. The other thing I want to give a plug for is for a number of years, a group of us talked about doing the Legacy Circle. And we have these brochures, and it's basically a way for you to encourage people to name Shir Tikvah in your estate plans. And it's very simple. We did it very Shir Tikvah. All you have to do is say you either have named Shir Tikvah in your plan or you plan to. And there's a simple form you fill out, and then you're part of the Legacy Circle. So I encourage people to do that. So in conclusion, I want to thank everyone for making this weekend so special, for your enthusiastic attendance, because all our planning would have been in vain if we didn't have all of you showing up. Thank you.
So I want to apologize because it was really a faux pas to cut Dick off, and I'm really very sorry about it. Please come back up, Dick, and take all the time you like.
Kidding about you all the time. Let's see, where was I? Actually, I really was talking about Diane, and I really want to say that so all of us can hear it again. Diane was one of our founders, and I can't think of anybody who's worked harder or longer with more intelligence, thoughtfulness, caring, and intensity to help the temple, and everyone in this room deserves to give Diane the most thanks possible. So I was about to end with a personal note that I just wanted to share. As I sort of ended, I mean, this community is unbelievable. Last night when I was listening, I kept hearing, geez, then we're using the exact same words we used 41 years ago when we were trying to figure out who we are. And here we are, same words. So here's what I did. At the end of sometime last week, I wrote an email to our kids, Randy and Roger, about what was about to happen this weekend. And I want to read you a short portion of that. What I said was, Oh, by the way, Randy was the first bat mitzvah 13, and she's 53 now. OMG. Here's what I wrote. You kids know that family has always been the most important part of my life. But founding Shir Tikvah was the most meaningful and rewarding thing I ever actually did outside of family. When we left Winchester, I said, the temple gave us this amazing collage of all sorts of simple pieces of the temple's history, little snippets of news clippings. It was amazing. And, you know, we've moved a few times. It's the only piece of art that I still keep. It's sitting on the wall in my office, and when I sit on my desk, I look straight at it. And that's how much the temple has meant to me. Now, in one of my earliest president's letters, this is what I wrote. By starting this temple, and we're adding a link to a 5,000-year-old chain. All of us, the people in this room, I mean, since I said that 40 years ago, everybody here has made that link stronger and stronger and stronger, and everyone deserves some self-congratulatory applause because this place has been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. Thank you, thank you. So that wraps up our storytelling for this evening, and I want to thank all of you as Lily. And then as Emily, I want to thank all of you because this was an extraordinarily special evening, and I feel so privileged to have been a part of it. And thank you for letting me bring Lily into this synagogue, which I've been wanting to do for a long time. So, yeah, I'm just so grateful to everybody in this room. So thank you, and have a wonderful night.